the time is now. Get up and make your micro-budget movie.
Hi, and welcome to the Micro Budget Movie Podcast. I am your hostess with the mostess, Catherine Zoe Alexander, and I'm here today with David Huey, the Cinema Sensei,
yes.
And briefly, why did they call you that?
They call me the Cinema Sensei because I am the master teaching you my knowledge. No, I mean, I run a Muay Thai gym when I kind of semi-retired, and they knew I was in the film business, so they combined cinema and sensei, and they kind of put together Cinema Sensei. I kind of like that. You like it?
It's a tongue twister.
Tongue twister.
So today we're going to talk about the micro budget movie filmmakers' arsenal.
Ooh, arsenal. But before we do so, I want to tell you that this is also my hostess, but my lovely wife. And people ask us many times, Catherine, you being my wife, how do we go through production without fighting?
We didn't fight? No, actually, we actually worked pretty well together.
That is true.
He's very bossy, but he is the director. So
she's very bossy, but she is the woman, the wife.
But no, I think we did very, very well. We had our moments, but we got through it. We mostly had fun.
We did, and it's all documented here in our book, Make Your Micro Budget Movie and Make Money. It's all detailed in this, and we're going to talk about what we talked about. You talked about this, the filmmaker's arsenal.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want me to start?
You can, but I want to share with the filmmakers out there what during the filming of this feature, what I learned besides audio. We'll get to that, but you are all about lighting.
Yes. Lighting for me, because I was a cinematographer, I started as a camera assistant. I worked my way up the union. The last show I assisted on as an assistant cameraman was Pee-wee's Playhouse, Paul Rubens' kids show. Mm-hmm. I've done just thousands of commercials, and I worked my way up to camera operator. I was a camera operator for a lot of the HBO promos, working with all the celebrities, and then eventually became director of photography, shooting thousands of commercials, all kinds, beers, cars, toys, kids, whatever it is. And then eventually becoming director cameraman. I applied a lot of that knowledge to the micro budget filmmaking. And one of the important things is lighting, and you want people to look good. I mean, right now I think we look okay. We got a light coming at us, also have some light coming from the monitor, but we want, I see a lot of independent films, and the cinematography, the lighting is not good, and so there may be like a top light overhead, and it makes you look like your shadows are just hollowing out your eyes and not giving you definition.
Can add 10 years.
It does. It does. So we want people to look good, and we want them, you want to see their facial expressions. You want to see them act. And as they're acting, you don't want to see, I can't see their eyes. Eyes are like the key to the soul. And so you do want them.
So we're talking about the arsenal. So when you're doing a micro budget movie production, a lot of times you don't have a big set. You can't bring in, a truck of lighting. So for your micro budget movie filmmakers, what do you suggest for lighting when they're doing their film?
Well, because I'm a cinematographer, I own hundreds of lights. I own tungsten lights still. I have HMIs, I have all different kinds, but I kind of just toss that away. Because in micro budget filmmaking, you have to try to achieve certain looks with minimal equipment and easy equipment to move around. I mean, some of these, like the HMI light I have, there's a ballast that goes with it. The head is heavy. The ballast is heavy. There's a lot of cable. And now with the cameras with the smaller chips, you don't actually need that much punch. But so I choose not to use my traditional lighting kit. I had a couple of LED panels, and those LED panels were able to run off a battery. And I put a little softbox in front of it, and having a battery operated LED light, you're able to move that thing around without having cable on the floor, and I think that really helps in terms of having a good key light. And you can have tungsten balance, daylight balance, whatever it is, but that really helps a lot. That's one of the things. The other thing is having a good softbox backlight. And I use these deformable lights. And if you go into the book, we actually itemize the lights that are there. And this deformable light is a LED light that kind of looks like a spider. And you can turn the leaves down, and that can adjust the volume of the light. But there's also a soft box that goes in front of it, and that softens the light. Or you can choose not to use that, have it a hard backlight. Many ways to create what we call highlight separation. The second part of highlight separation, before you say anything, okay, because I know you want to say something, is lighting the background. And I use some very simple bargain dollar store LED lights that are like fluorescent tubes. They're small, and they create the second half of what we call highlight separation. And that was essentially my kit. 4 lights, 4 LED panels, and able to travel in 1 suitcase.
One day, David said, "Hey, do we have shower cap covers?" And I'm thinking, what the heck? What is he talking about? You wanted to do a certain effect with their light, and you used a shower cap.
I did. So I have this little LED panel, and it's like the size of your phone, and it runs off a battery. And if you're going out to shoot somewhere, especially at nighttime, you want that fill light to just come and hit your actors. And I'm literally holding a camera in one hand, holding that fill light, that key light in my other hand, holding it steady, okay, and getting this shot and of you speaking, all right. But I had a shower cap, and that shower cap, I put it on top of there, and it milked the light up, and it create what we call diffusion, and it softens
Really
the light.
pretty.
Yeah, it flatters, it fills in everybody. If we had just shot that scene natural light, the lighting would have been, I think there's some top light coming from above, and again, you want it to fill, you want the lighting to look smooth, you want to see the actors emote, and I think that's an important part about it.
So basically, you know these tricks.
I know 1,001 tricks. They only rolled 1,000 tricks. I know 1,001.
Okay, so lighting, very important. The other thing is audio. And I know I have a soft voice, so I work on, getting a less breathy, kid-like sound. But David is very particular about audio because, as he says in the book, if your audio's bad, nobody cares to watch any further. So as far as your audio arsenal, what'd you use?
So I used 2 lavalier microphones with a wireless transmitter, and they weren't expensive. They were maybe, I think, I got them on sale for like $85.
He gets everything on sale.
Everything that's on sale. Okay, all right. And so we clipped the lavalier so we can get it close. So we had a transmitter pack in the back. This one's made by Newer, and in the book it's detailed again. And so you have it transmits to the camera, and it gets the microphone close. And again, you want the sound to sound good. The moment it doesn't sound good, it takes you out of the dialogue. It takes you out of the reality of the film. And so you don't want that distraction. You want to hear the actors. You want to hear them emote. But we also shot 2 cameras, and I also used a shotgun microphone. And I know throughout the years, wireless microphones, they do run interference sometimes, and you'll get a static breakup.
Kind of like a karaoke kind of feedback.
Yeah,
Yeah.
or just like static, that type of noise. So I ran a second camera with a shotgun microphone just attached to it, just in case I needed a backup, okay, for audio, and also gave us second camera too. So that was, that worked out very well. So I encourage you to, if you have a boom operator, get that microphone as close as you can. No matter what, try to get the microphone as close as you can.
Another thing we did that has to do with audio is we filmed a lot of the scenes in a bowling alley because it was a bowling film. And so you've got the crash of the bowling pins, you've got people, you've got kids crying, you've got, all the sound going on. But tell them what you did to make our dialogue clear. Like, for example, at the Christmas light show where there was a ton of activity and music, and the 2 actors were basically drowned out.
So I learned this during commercial filmmaking, and a lot of times you'll shoot a scene and the dialogue is is great, but there's cars passing behind you. And when you cut the two, the ambience changes. You hear the car swishing by, then the cut happens, you don't hear the car swishing by anymore. So a sound recordist I work with said, let's go to the motorhome immediately and record the dialogue. And 95, maybe 90% of the time, you can make the dialogue fit. And the reason why is because the actors have just done their lines. They know the emotional cadence. They know the rhythm of those lines. And so when you just record them, what we call wild lines, in a quiet place, in our case, before
The
it was
car.
a motorhome. We did it in the car. Yeah, we did it in the car.
Yeah.
And so they just do the lines immediately in the car. And I'm able to overcut it. And again, 90% of the time it fits in. If it doesn't fit in, I shoot a cutaway. We cut away to the other actor listening, okay? But most of the times it fit in, and if it didn't, we can always do ADR. But it saves that ADR is automated dialogue replacement. But if we were able to save that, not bring you guys back, and keep the emotional cadence of that, I know I've done it before. Where I've done ADR where I brought actors back 3 months later, and they don't even remember the emotional cadence, and we want that cadence again. So if you do it immediately, almost immediately on the same day, you get these wild lines, you can overcut these lines in, and then you can throw in your traffic noise or whatever noise you want afterwards.
Another thing you did was for some of the bowling scenes, you actually used a program to simulate our voices, and you dubbed those back in. How does that work? It was pretty crazy.
So we use a program from 11 Labs, and that is actually to clone your voice. And then I took the voice that you actually did, even though there was bowling pins crashing in the background, filter out as much as you can, edit out all the thumps and stuff like that, and then run it through the program where they have a clone of your voice, because I already had your audio clean from another scene, and it regenerated your voice. Now, it's not 100% foolproof, because there are crashes, and when you filter out someone's voice, sometimes it doesn't understand what you're saying, but you can get pretty good dialogue replacement from that. But we do want to talk about the cameras too, right?
That's next in the arsenal. So basically, we had to be incognito a lot, which micro-budget filmmakers have to do, because we don't have the budget for big sets, extras, all this different things. So we kind of went in under the filming of like Tourist, or for our bowling. Everybody's asking me, what are you filming for? Oh, we're filming for a Christmas party, which was true. But tell us how you utilize the cameras to get the effect that you did, but be undercover in a lot of situations.
Well, many of the digital cameras right now, I mean, they shoot great video. You have your Area Alexa, or you have your Red camera, but when you're doing micro budget filmmaking, sometimes it's better to use just a smaller camera. In our case, we use a palm quarter, or we use what we're shooting right now with the Sony AX33. This camera, I think it's 8 years old or something like that, but it still shoots 4K, 100 megabits per second. It has a small sensor, so the depth of field is really good, so you don't need a focus puller per se. If you want to blur something, you can do it in post, okay? But it also has a little gimbal in there, and so you can handhold, and it doesn't look like it's shaking, and it's a little bit of floatiness. But the important thing, it just looks like a regular camcorder. Now, you can do the same thing with a digital still camera, a DSLR, or a mirrorless DSLR, or so like Blackmagic has a pocket cam. They just look like regular still cameras. The moment you have a big matte box, and then you have support rods, big battery, a monitor arm with a monitor for people to look, it kind of screens production. And then not only it screens production, but if you're shooting, then people walking by, they turn around and take a look at the camera, and it ruins your shot. So to be a little bit more stealth with your camera, as long as you can still achieve the results, don't put it on automatic, set your exposure, do all the things that you normally would do, and it really helps keep you under the radar. And I think that's an important phrase, under the radar.
So I am not a filmmaker. I'm an actor, writer, other things, but there was a time when I had to take advantage of shooting some B-roll, at our friend's bowling tournament. David was working. He couldn't make it. He set the camera on automatic, and I had that automatic gimbal thing going. And I actually shot some really good B-roll with this camera.
And we used it for our opening scene of the film.
We did. I'm very proud.
We used a lot of it. And even though, let's say, for instance, it was set on autofocus, it was focused on something close. When she panned it around to the end of the bowling alley, it kind of racked focus by itself. That was a great looking shot. And then even when actors are, you're shooting actors and the bowling alley is lit, and then the people are in silhouette, that's great for montage or types of scenes where there's not really lighting continuity. It added so much, and we did a whole opening sequence based off the footage that you shot. You know, as long as you have good framing and taste, okay, all right.
Now, the scenes that you did, well, you weren't, we're not trying to hide anything, like in the dance studio. Did you use the same type of cameras? Was it some other equipment? What'd you do differently?
I used the same cameras, and when we were lucky to get that dance studio, and we got it for free. And I know that filming efficiency is the key, and so I went and set up as fast as I could with the lights that I have. I already had a mental plan. My cinematographer, Timothy Galfis, who he shot Summer Lovers, Rhinestone with Sylvester Stallone. He shot films in IMAX too, and he was my mentor. And he told me, you should never walk into a set without seeing how it's lit. You walk in there and you already, no matter what kind of lighting they have up, even if it's 100% dark, or they have like crappy fluorescent lights up, you should not walk into a set without just looking at it and knowing how visually you want that to look. So once you do that, boom, you know how to light it. And that was...
And then you bring in the camera.
Then you bring in the
ready
camera.
to go.
Yeah, you're ready to go. And we shot 2 cameras. And again, it was the same thing to try to capture the sound, but also, second camera, we gave it to one of our actors, Rick Williamson, and he held the camera. He got some great shots. I was able to use a few of those. And it's just extra insurance. But not only shooting with the camera, we also want to shoot not always handheld. We want to sometimes just put the camera down. Sometimes you're just in a public place, you want to grab the shot, but you don't want it to just kind of move a little bit. Even with the gimbal, the camera shakes a little bit. So I use a beanbag. And you can, I've had this beanbag for like 30 years, okay? But it's a little beanbag, the same that you would throw in a beanbag toss, okay? Or you can use a bag of beans, actually. You buy
Can we water them and make some sprouts?
Make some lentil soup, okay? And put your camera on that beanbag. And that will kind of deform or form into where you want that camera to be held at, the tilt and whatever. So many times I've walked and I look at a shot and I want that. I put the beanbag right on a mailbox, set the camera on the mailbox, and I got it framed. It's a steady shot. I don't have to set up a tripod. I don't have to try to hold the camera steady. So you can get many of these shots with that beanbag. In some respects, you can also still kind of tilt and pan with it too, as long as you do it smoothly, because the little plastic or the fabric that you have still has some fluidity, some give to it, so you can go and get these shots that look great, but it doesn't look handheld.
And the car scenes, you used the beanbag to... Is that correct?
That is correct, yeah. So we shot
even while driving the car, it was really steady.
We shot my wife talking in the car, and so we put a beanbag right on the dashboard, set the camera back, looking back at her, and the camera was steady. And so, you can, if you want to tilt a little higher, a little lower, whatever it is, you can get that look. And it's such a tremendous tool to have. That's one of our many hacks. Again, you can see it more in depth in this book. Make your
our sponsor,
movie, which is ourselves. Yes, make your micro budget movie and make money. And of course, it's 295 pages filled with over 200 illustrations. You'll see a lot of my wife in there, but all the tricks are actually detailed in full detail. And also, there is takeaways that if you're not making the Christmas Bowl, which we're referencing, our movie that we did in 6 months from concept to distribution, but you can apply it to your own film because we strip away what we did and we gave a blueprint for you to do if you were to choose making a micro budget movie.
So to recap, your arsenal, the main parts of your arsenal is lighting, sound, audio, and cameras.
Camera, that's right.
Anything else that, I mean, there's a lot, I know, but anything that is really important in those top three beside those top three?
I think those are the three most important things. And so as you go through this film path journey, I'm just going to tell you, just shoot, experiment, keep working, because filmmaking is a muscle. Keep developing it.
And that's from the sensei, the cinema sensei himself. So until next time, we hope you join us on the Micro Budget Movie Podcast. And thanks for watching.
Thank you. See you next time. All right. What the?
Oh, brother.
Yeah, the time is now. Get up and make your